Hello, welcome back. Today a video that was really special to me. It's in a way a new kind of videos, a new kind of shootouts. I decided to go now as regular as possible, and this really was very interesting. What I did in this video, or what I did for this video, was I compared 3 very important pressing of a classic album, talking about Black Sabbath Paranoid. I compared the Grail pressing, the British first pressing with the management credits. I compared it against or with the first German pressing and the very interesting 1973 release, the WWA007 release, that used the metal parts, the metal works from the original British pressing. You know, I decided to go this way because I don't do this reissue against first pressing country of origins video. I don't do them anymore because, and now that's not completely true, let me explain. Will do them very rarely because in a way it doesn't make sense. In a way we know the outcome. I've done them often enough with always the same outcome. The original is in many cases way better. The only thing, or the only time this makes sense is when the real audiophile labels, the labels who go the whole 9 yards, intervention, impacts, analog production, when they do it, then this might make sense, or this makes sense, because there is a real chance that they do an improvement compared to the original. All the other labels, so I've done them enough, and it was so clear, and for me, and I can imagine for some of you, this then becomes, if you know the outcome, it's a bit tedious. So, but comparing first British pressing, first German pressing, or first French, or whatever first pressing, or highly regarded later pressings that, for example, used the same metalworks or things like that. This might be very interesting, especially in cases like this, when you have, for example, the Grail, the icon, the British first pressing with the management credits in the gatefold. You can see those here. I hope it gets sharp. Here you have those management credits. I hope you can see them. I don't see what you saw right now. Records like this, I got very lucky in a way. I got my copy from Dave, and I got one of the almost impossible to find nowadays, one of those, near mint, BG plus, whatever, but this sounds and this plays unbelievable. Here you can see, I go to the iconic label. But these records, you know, first you have to find them in this condition. And when you found them in this condition, those records, they do have their price. And this can go far over 1,000 euros. So this is, of course, not everybody's cup of tea, and a lot of people rightfully says, no, I don't pay this amount of money. And then there are alternatives. You hear about them. For example, one of the alternatives is this German first pressing in a laminated gatefold jacket. Also came out in 1970, almost the same label. funnily, I saw that the German first pressing, and this is a cool thing in my opinion, was pressed over at Deutsche Grammophon. And as I said in the video, I have a third pressing now, and this is the 1973 release from WWA, the 007 release. Has a different label. See the WWA label, but uses, excuse me, my inner sleeve fell down, but uses the same metalwork, so quite interesting. So I compared all of these three versions thoroughly. I listened to all the records, and then I got into detail. Yeah, I had to. I couldn't resist with the iconic, unbelievable title track "Paranoid." I really do love this title. You know, I think you don't have to be a rock fan to love this title. This is such an iconic song. He immediately takes you with you, this song. I totally love the song Paranoid. So, and yeah, the outcome was very, very, very interesting. As I said, a near mint version of the management credit first pressing, very, very expensive if you can get one. German pressing for, I'm talking here now, great copies, good copies. I think German copy between 80 and 140 euros. This WWA 90 to 140 if you get a real good copy. So, what does the comparison shows? The management credit first pressing is overall the best sounding version of this. It has the best sound stage and is the most harmonic one of them. Very punchy, very, very attacky, really right into the face version. If you want to see a weak spot, then I'd say the mid-range. The closer, now we have the two others, the German and the 1973. Closer to the original, when it comes to the sound, is the British 1973 with the same metalworks. It sounds quite similar. It has slightly more distortion and has not this punch and this directness and this totally into the face. Quite interesting, the German version is, in my opinion, on my equipment, very, very different. So I think you can't say it's very close to the first pressing. If someone says that, I'd say I'd disagree in this case. It's different, but it has its advantages over the British one, in my opinion, and these advantages are in the mid-range. It has, and excuse me for choosing this word in this context, but I don't know how else to say it. As I said, if you want to criticize the first pressing a bit, then it's the slightly muddy mid-range. And here is where the German first pressing really, really shows what's possible, which gives this version an overall darker attitude, which suits the music quite well, but lacks this brilliant heights and bass from the first one, from the first British pressing. So the first German is a very, very interesting alternative due to the fact that it's quite different and still an amazing sounding record. You know, I think that's the best way I can put it. Nothing will ever beat, of course, the collectability of the management credit release. Not possible. This is, as I said several times now in this video, this is the Grail release, this is the Grail version. But out of this 512 different versions, I think this 1973 version and the German first pressing are fantastic alternatives if you don't want to spend this ridiculous amount of money, or if you're just not able to find one. If you want to shorten the time, if you're on the hunt, if you're on the lookout for this one, and we know that in the OBC a huge amount of people wants this release, the management credit Black Sabbath Paranoid. Those two versions, doesn't matter which one or both, they will shorten the time, because you will have for sure two great sounding versions. So very interesting. I really loved this video. As often, as I said at the beginning, as often as I can now, I will do now these comparisons between German, French, British, US pressings whenever possible, whenever I can get my hands on them. That was pure fun. And you know, the outcome was amazing. I didn't expect the difference between the first German and the first UK so big, or as the 1973 release is quite similar to the British first. The German stands out sound-wise. Very interesting. Didn't expect that. Okay, enough for today. Thank you for your time, and I hope I see you on the next one. Bye.